Yes,
Okay.
Yes, no
So,
issue.
very good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I appreciate the initiative by Parivartan Group for taking initiative to arrange such kind of meeting so that the awareness regarding plasma therapy, which is one of the very important therapy protocol in treatment of COVID, has been taken. There are lot of confusion, there is lot of confusion, or there is lot of there is no not a good clarity related to treatment of overall COVID-19 disease. So I will try to remove some of the biases related to plasma therapy during this talk. I have prepared some PPT over here. Most of the slides are you can understand them, but some of the slides will be technical, but please try to understand them so that you can have a good understanding of the disease. And you people are going to talk to other volunteers who are going to come for plasma donations, so the clarity of the disease and its treatment in your mind is very necessary. So let us start with our session. In plasma therapy during COVID-19, before going into this very topic of plasma donation, I would like to arrange our session in these headings, such as first of all, what is plasma, then a small introduction of the disease, what are available treatment options, then what is convalescent plasma therapy, its definition, concept, what are the scientific literatures are there, and then how we can select a donor or patient. Then what is blood group compatibility for plasma transfusion? When to start plasma therapy? Are there any
ट्विटरला
are,
पोस्ट करा ब्लड बँकेच्या मोबाईलवर नाही
are there any adverse effect of plasma transfusion? 1 second. Are there any regulatory requirements? What are the clinicians review? I am in touch with many clinicians. So what do clinicians say about this plasma therapy? And what are the challenges faced by medical fraternity for effective establishment of plasma therapy? And then I have tried to summarize some of the frequently asked questions by you all. So to start with, what is plasma? Plasma, it is actually one of the component of blood. Our blood is a composition of all these cells that you can see: white blood cells, red blood cells, platelets, plasma. And this blood in a liquid form, it moves or it flows through blood vessels. So this is blood vessel. And what is the medium to put these blood cells into liquid medium? That medium is called as plasma. So we can say that plasma is one of the component of blood. So along with acting as a medium to keep these blood cells moving or flowing, it also gives you some other advantages, such as it also carries some of the nutrients like albumin. It also carries most of the immunity, most of the components of immunity, such as antibodies. Then there are some coagulation factors also they are there in plasma. So plasma is itself having many other physiological functions of blood, one of which is presence of antibodies in it. See, we when we do blood donation, then plasma bag looks like this. Here you can see that after centrifugation of this donated blood, the plasma component is seen as like this. Here we can very clearly see that all other cells such as red blood cells or platelets, all right, so these are 40% of the cellular material, and the remaining 60% is the plasma. And this plasma is carrier of many important ingredients in the blood, which also includes antibodies, albumin, etc. If we take our blood in a test tube, the plasma, and centrifuge it, means if we try to separate the different blood components, then plasma looks like this. That is this yellow component. And this is automated machine in a blood bank which separates the plasma from rest of the blood components. Right? next, sorry. Uh, Okay. And the next important thing you must know is what are antibodies. Now, as I said earlier, these antibodies are components of our immune system. Whenever there is a foreign material or foreign bacteria, virus, or parasite, whenever it comes into our body system, then our immune system prepares these kind of antibodies against those pathogens or foreign materials, and these antibodies helps to destroy the foreign material and protects our body from whatever the damage that material is going to cause. So in this way, if this is a coronavirus, then our body automatically prepares these antibodies which are actually suspended in plasma, and these antibodies try to kill the coronavirus or any other virus against which these antibodies are. And what is this COVID-19 disease? This COVID-19 disease is actually a manifestation of coronavirus infection. Whenever the coronavirus is a new kind of virus, actually it is a group of virus, but the recent virus which we are experiencing is a different one. In past also coronavirus has attacked human species in the diseases where SARS, then MERS, that is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, etc. So this is a this is large family of viruses, and it causes illnesses of respiratory system, that is it affects generally the lungs. And novel coronavirus is a new strain of coronavirus family that has not been previously identified in humans. And whatever the disease is caused by this virus, also called as SARS-CoV-2, this disease is called as COVID-19. The incubation period for this disease is around 0 to 14 days. So it ranges between 0 to 14 days. Most of the time, the incubation period is around 4 to 5 days also. So incubation period is the time period between infection of the disease and onset of the infections, onset of the symptoms. So this disease presents as mild self-limiting respiratory tract illness to severe progressive pneumonia. So this disease can be a mild self-limiting respiratory tract illness, or it can present as a severe pneumonia also. In severe cases, there may be failure of many organs such as kidney or other organs, and ultimately, if the disease is not controlled, it can also cause death. So it is now global pandemic, as everyone knows, and most common symptoms are fever, tiredness, dryness of cough, nasal congestion, runny nose, sore throat, diarrhea. So these are variety of symptoms this disease comes with. The around 80 to 85% of people, they recover without any major illness, but around 15% of the patients, they convert into a severe disease. So what are the available treatment model is it? Treatment options for this is, so for treatment now government, that is Maharashtra COVID-19 task force, has divided the stages of this disease into these 4 stages, that is stage 1, stage 2A, stage 2B, and stage 3. So convalescent plasma therapy has been recommended by government in this stage 2B disease. So all this staging is dependent upon various clinical findings of the patients. And what are available treatment options? So there is one drug called as remdesivir. This is also allowed by government, but as an experimental drug. Then favipiravir is also the Fabiflu drug. This in, I think in September, this was introduced by Glenmark. This is also the experimental drug. Then tocilizumab, this is also one of the experimental drug. So in this way, glucocorticoids, there are steroids, they decrease the effect of coronavirus damage to our body. And hydroxychloroquine, which was initially the patients were being treated with hydroxychloroquine, and then convalescent plasma. So along with all the treatment options such as all these drugs, convalescent plasma has also been approved by the government, but as an experimental drug or the off-label drug. The technical name for this certification is off-label use of the drug for treatment of COVID-19.
Doctor, there are few people waiting in the room. Can you just please admit?
Okay. Admit all. and mute all.
Nothing.
Yes. Okay. Now I have made that anyone can join. Is it okay?
Yes, doctor. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So what is convalescent plasma? Convalescent, it is actually the terminology for plasma, which plasma is collected from the deceased patient who has been recovered from that disease. Right. So convalescent plasma is the plasma derived from a voluntary donor who has been recovered from a disease. This kind of plasma is known to have antibodies. Now I have cleared your concept. What is antibody? It is a component of immune system which acts against the particular pathological agent. So this kind of plasma is known to have antibodies against pathogen which the donor is suffering from, such as coronavirus. So it is collected from a patient who has been recovered from the corona, and then this patient, if this patient is recovered from the coronavirus, it means that his blood is having antibodies against it, because its immune system must have developed some kind of immunity against that disease. So we are going to make use of that antibodies in the plasma. So it is all the concept of convalescent plasma. So in a pictorial form, we can consider it like this, that this is a COVID-19 patient. After recovery, his blood is now, or his body is now immune for the virus, and this immune part is present in the plasma. This immune part is, these are the antibodies which are present in plasma, and now this plasma can be utilized to treat other patient who is now suffering from the COVID-19, but his immune system is not yet activated. Hence, what we are doing is we are doing a passive transfer of antibodies which are present in patient's body to another patient. Now, this another patient is right now fighting against the disease, but the patient from which the antibodies are taken, he is now fully recovered and his body is immune from that disease. So, this is all the concept. This is what is the concept of convalescent plasma. Now there are various review of literature. So before going to treatment of COVID-19 with plasma therapy, I must tell you that this treatment modality was used before also. So when it was used, when there was outbreak of SARS or MERS, that is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, at that time, this plasma therapy was used by many Eastern and Western countries, mainly by Eastern countries, because the immediate treatment options were not available. So this is not a new therapy. We can say that this is the old therapy which was used previously, but for other diseases. And now, as when the COVID-19 outbreak was there, again many studies were carried out because it was a pandemic, and in various literatures it was found that the plasma may be useful. So there are various randomized and controlled clinical trials are yet going on. Many trials, they say that it may be helpful, but in early stages. Many trials say that it is not useful. But right now, government of India and also US FDA has allowed use of convalescent plasma as an experimental therapy, because the pandemic is now at its highest rate. That is, the second wave is spreading. That is why we have to use whatever the options available along with us. So this is these are some of the review of literatures which I have shown. And then convalescent plasma, actually Maharashtra COVID-19 task force. One second, someone is. The slides, actually they get stuck at one point only.
Doctor, we can see who can donate plasma.
Actually, I wanted to show you previous slide, but it is okay. We can start from this slide. In previous slide, it was said that the Maharashtra COVID-19 task force, they have identified this plasma therapy to be given in moderate disease, that is stage 2B disease. So there are certain criteria such as the oxygen saturation of the patient shall be 94%, and there is some ratio of partial pressure of oxygen which should be between 200 to 300. So these are the criteria where we can start convalescent convalescent plasma therapy. Now, from whom this we shall collect this plasma? So the eligibility of the donor has been decided. The eligibility of the donor, the first is the age criteria. So any patient who is, the primary criteria is he must have been recovered from COVID-19 disease. So he must have evidence that he had COVID-19 disease in the past. Second is his or her age should be 18 to 65 years, because after 65 years our bone marrow stops functioning, that is our production of red cells or plasma stops. So upper limit is 65 years and lower limit is 18 years, because after 18 years only we can give consent for any kind of blood donation. Then males or nulliparous female having weight more than 55 kg can donate plasma. Actually in ICMR criteria the weight has been given as 50 kg, but if you want to do plasma donation, the minimum weight is 55 kg as per Drug and Cosmetic Act, and that is why we are considering 55 kg. Now males and nulliparous females. So what this nulliparous stands for? Those kind of those female who have not had any pregnancy or miscarriage before, because because in case of pregnancy female tend to form antibodies against lungs. So this is a very particular condition where if a female remains pregnant, because of the baby she forms some antibodies against lungs, and these antibodies comes in plasma. So these are different kind of antibodies. They are not related to COVID-19 antibodies, but these are harmful antibodies which can damage the lung tissue of any patient. That is why it is said that the female donors who are never been pregnant, they can only donate convalescent plasma. Then obviously the prior diagnosis of COVID-19 should be there, and the patient or the prospective donor should be symptomless for at least 28 days prior to donation. So this is very important criteria given by the ICMR, that after 28 days he or she is fit for donation, or if they want to donate plasma after 14 days, then here I said two, this is a negative RT-PCR test. Actually it is one right now, that he or she should have at least one RT-PCR negative test from nasopharyngeal swab. So this 28 days is mainly because that person who is donating the plasma should not be infective. The virus remains in our body for around 14 days. So just to have the safer margin, government has asked us to take donation of plasma from the donors after 28 days of recovery from the COVID-19. And in addition, there are numerous donor eligibility criteria which are checked at a blood bank where the patient goes or the donor goes for plasma donation. So they must pass all those criteria. These criteria include their hemoglobin must be more than 12.5. The blood pressure and pulse shall be normal. Okay. So what are the screening tests are done on the donor? So donors which are screened for a brief physical examination by the doctor at a blood bank, and those who are not fit to donate, they are excluded as a plasma donor. We do blood grouping and antibody screening, which is a specific type of test. The antibodies against red cell should not be there. Then we do hemoglobin, and there are some pathological tests which are carried out, such as platelet count and the white blood cell count. So we have given some minimum criteria above which, if the values are above these criteria, then the donor is eligible to donate blood. His or her serum protein shall be more than 6 gram per deciliter, and they must have presence of adequate amount of antibodies against COVID-19. How plasma is collected from such eligible donor then? Then we use a specific method called as apheresis donation. So apheresis is a very unique kind of donation where so this is a very unique kind of blood donation where the patient's, which is actually containing 6% of plasma and bodies in that plasma, they donate this blood is taken into this, which is called as apheresis machine. Here, with the use of centrifugation technology, the plasma with specific gravity is very low, it is with the principle of specific gravity, it is separated into a separate bag, and red cells are separated, or other cellular components are separated into another bag, and these platelets or red cell, after removal of plasma, they are returned back into donor's body. So this was our first plasma donor when I had done this procedure at Nashik. So this was our first donor, and it was our first ever blood donation, plasma donation. So this yellow liquid, which is called as plasma, around 400 to 500 ml of this liquid is collected from the donor. Here I would like to share one video just to give you the orientation of how the procedure is done. I think you all can see the video image.
No,
If
doctor, we
anyone-
can only see.
No.
Now I think it is more
Oh.
visible. Okay.
Now I will play this video. So see, here you can see that he is he is one gentleman. He was a police officer. When he recovered from COVID, he came to donate plasma at our center. Here the blood is collected from this vein. Here the needle is inside patient's vein. This blood from these tubings goes into this machine. Now this is a different kind of machine. The machine which is in previous photo was was from different company. Here the blood goes into this centrifugation chamber. After centrifugation, there are some sensors which can sense plasma, and this plasma is separated into this bag, and other cells such as red cells or white blood cells or platelets, they are separated separately. And once the plasma is separated into this bag, once the enough plasma is separated, then these red cells or other cellular component, they go back into donor's body. Hence, the donor doesn't have any deficit of other important red cells or other things. Only the plasma is removed. So this is a very unique kind of blood donation. You can see the centrifuge over here. You could have seen the centrifuge over here, and from all these tubings, okay. I think the slides are visible now.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. Okay, I think you saw the video. Here we could see that some amount of blood, actually around 100 to 150 ml of blood is collected at a time. Then from this around 50 to 40 ml of plasma is separated. Remaining component is returned back to the donor. Again, the next lot of 100 to 150 ml of blood goes into the machine, and again 40 to 60 ml or whatever the 60% of plasma is there, that amount is collected, and the other blood component goes back into the patient's body. So this goes on for around half an hour, 45 minutes. So in this way the plasma is separated in the machine. This most of the time these slides get stuck. Okay. So how to infuse those plasma? So infusion of plasma is very similar to the other saline injections. What we need to be careful about is we have to transfuse ABO compatible plasma. So this plasma compatibility is decided by clinician and blood bank, and in this way we can give ABO blood group compatible plasma to patient. For this, the clinician must send a request to any blood center or any blood bank, and against that request and against one new consent is there. So every blood bank or every hospital has this new format of consent. Along with this consent and blood request form and blood sample of the patient, so these three things are required to place a valid request of plasma at blood bank. So dose of convalescent plasma, 200 ml of one dose is the initial dose of plasma therapy. If the patient tolerates this dose, then second dose of convalescent plasma can be given after 24 hours. Right now, we are allowed to give two plasma dose in this way. But if the clinic, but and to give the next dose, it totally depends on clinician's experience or his judgment of recovery of patient. Are there any side effects? As the blood transfusion has other side effects, or many blood components have their own side effects. Plasma also has certain probability of side effects. So these are names of some of the side effects. You need not go deep into it, but all these side effects are very mild and they can be manageable. So there is no life-threatening side effects of convalescent plasma. So these are one of the some of the side effects. And what is blood group compatibility of plasma transfusion? Everyone knows that we have blood groups. Similarly, the plasma also have their own blood group, but for plasma, the compatibility is quite different. We just as a summary, I would like to tell you that O blood group patient can receive plasma from any blood group, and AB patient can receive plasma of AB. And whoever is the AB blood group patient, he can donate plasma to anyone. So this is some technical things are there. This we generally discuss with the clinicians, and we issue only compatible blood group plasma to the patient. So what are the regulatory requirements? In India, the blood bank, or whatever is the work of blood bank, or whatever the treatment facilities which are available at blood bank, they are regulated by Food and Drug Administration, or you can say Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO. So these two bodies these two bodies are the regulatory authorities for a blood bank. And now CDSCO, whose main office is in Delhi, they have allowed us, or allowed all of us, to use convalescent plasma as off-label. That is also called as experimental therapy. Because it is experimental therapy, we also need consent of patient or its relative and consent of doctor to avail this therapy. What are the clinicians review for this? So since I think since April we are doing this plasma therapy. Initially I was in Nashik, and right now since last 3 or 4 months I'm in Pune. So many clinicians have this kind of review. That convalescent plasma therapy has maximum positive impact on outcome of the patient. Some clinicians say that the stay in the hospital has decreased, and one, if we give it in first 10 days, then it is more beneficial. There is also definite improvement in oxygen saturation and resolution of the symptoms. So patient's recovery is hastened over here. There is decreased hospital stay, as I said earlier, and efficacy in severe category. In severe category, is its efficacy is generally questionable. If the disease has done a lot of damage to our body, then the efficacy of this therapy is questionable over there. And what are the challenges faced by medical fraternity for effective establishment of plasma therapy? First of all, availability of plasma donors. So why this availability? Because in suppose in the month of November and December, the pandemic was at its peak. That is, the first wave was at its peak. At that time, many donors who have completed their 28 days, they were present. But right now, what has happened in that in December or January or February, here the number of patients, COVID positive patients, they decrease. And then right now in the month of March or April, we do not have the eligible donors right now for this particular period. But if this situation goes on like this for next 1 or 2 months, we can have the donors who are ill in March and April. Now, if they are recovered, they can donate in the month of April, end of April or March. So availability of plasma donor is one of the challenge. It may not be available these donors may not be available at a particular time, and this is the challenge actually faced by organizations like US also. Second is less awareness among general population. Many people even don't know what is plasma. Many people don't know. I think very few people know what is apheresis donation. Most of the people know that we just have to go to blood bank, wait over there for 15 minutes, and our blood is derived in a one bag. So this is whole blood donation, which is quite different from plasma donation. Plasma donation is done only by using apheresis machine, video of which I have shared sometime before. And then fear regarding plasma apheresis. Yes, many people have this fear, which is very natural, because if we want to sit and donate plasma for around half an hour or 45 minutes, then this kind of fear is generally generated in normal people who have not donated blood before. So to counteract this fear, what we need to do is we need to educate them, and we need to tell them that this plasma donation is not that harmful. Yes, there are some mild side effects, but they are manageable at the time of donation. I have gathered all this data from these scientific references, and then I have compiled some of the frequently asked questions which were circulated to me. So what is plasma? What role does it play in our blood? I think I have answered this question. Um, what is plasma? I think in first one or two slides I have answered this. Why has its importance increased during the time of COVID-19? It is just because we were out of medicines, that is curative medicines. All these medicines are experimental. And then when we have ready-made antibodies in patient's plasma who is recovered, then it can also be theoretically it can be considered as one of the treatment options, and that is why its importance increased during COVID-19. At what stage COVID-19 it is required by the patient? Many clinicians say if it is given within first 10 days of illness, then it is very useful. Also, Maharashtra COVID-19 task force has asked us to use this plasma at stage 2B, that is also the moderate disease. So this stage 2B comes at around 8 to 9 days of the disease. Who can donate it? I think I have covered all the criteria. Important criteria are he or she must be preferably male, and if shall be preferably male, and if she is female, then she must not have any pregnancy at the time before the blood donation, before the plasma donation. Then he or she should be symptom free after at least for 28 days, and then they must not have any coexisting morbidity, such as the donor shall not have any heart disease, diabetes, hypertension. So this kind of pre-morbid condition shall not be there. So all these conditions, they are checked by the blood bank doctors when the patient comes for plasma donation. How it is extracted from donor? I think the apheresis technology, I have given one audio visual presentation of this. Does plasma regenerate in donor's blood? How long does it take? Yes, plasma regenerates very quickly. It takes around 72 hours to replenish the plasma. And remember, at one time, one can donate 500 ml plasma. So the machines are calibrated like that at a time, you can donate 400 to 500 ml plasma. But in a month, one shall not donate more than 1000 ml of plasma. So this is the upper limit has been decided. So we can say that a person can donate 2 times in a month, can donate a plasma 2 times in a month. And also it is most of the time it is asked that for how long one can keep on donating plasma. So in various studies right now, it is seen that these antibodies which are present in patient's body, they remain like that for at least 4 months. So here we can say that a convalescent plasma donor can donate plasma for 4 months after recovery from COVID-19. Are there any noticeable effects seen in donor once the plasma is donated? Yes, there are mild tingling, numbness during the procedure, giddiness, or some very mild symptoms. They can be experienced in less than 1% of the donor, but these are not major. All the blood centers which are collecting plasma from patients, they are well equipped to manage such kind of side effects. So these are very mild side effects. And also remember that here we are not removing any other important cells such as red cells or platelets from patient's body. We are collecting just plasma which can be replenished within 72 hours. Can plasma be stored in cold storage like blood? Yes, plasma is stored below -30 degrees Celsius, and it can be stored like this for 1 year. If an individual has received the plasma once, is required again. Yes, as I said, that second dose can be given after 24 hours if the patient tolerates this convalescent plasma at the first dose. How many times one can donate? I think I have answered this. What happens when one does not receive it? See, this is very kind of interesting question, that if one does not receive it, it is not like that he is going to die. It is one of the treatment modalities. As I have listed out, there are numerous treatment modalities right now which we have figured it down in last 1 year. There are hydroxychloroquine, remdesivir, ivermectin. So many drugs are there. Plasma is one of the treatment option, one of the very important treatment option. So if one does not receive it, the doctors, they are anytime going to they are not going to stop the therapy. There are various other treatment options available. Whom to contact and how to reach. So this is again one of the important aspect which we need to be understand, that plasma is collected at a blood bank. So at any blood bank you can ask for plasma. At our hospital right now, from this month we are going to start the plasma therapy. In the similar way, the other hospital along with Jahangir Hospital, such as Ruby Hall or Janakalyan Blood Bank, or many other blood bank who have the facility of apheresis, they from there you can from those blood banks you can get plasma. But government has prepared a very beautiful portal. Government means the State Blood Transfusion Council of India. This is one of the segment of government of Maharashtra. That is State Blood Transfusion Council. They on their website the daily plasma stock is mentioned. So from the internet you can very easily get knowledge that how many plasma are present in our city. Is there any plasma bank? Actually, blood bank is plasma bank because plasma is collected from blood only. So the any blood bank which is collecting plasma using apheresis method is called as plasma bank. Who cannot donate plasma? As I said that there are certain criteria. Those who are above age of 65, those who are having comorbid conditions, such as those who are having comorbid conditions such as one second, blood pressure, thyroid disorders or diabetes. So these people cannot donate plasma, but the rejection of the donor is decided by medical officer present in a blood bank. So all these things from my side, like I tried to recollect all these things since yesterday, and I think I have tried to cover all the FAQs also. But still, if you want to discuss anything about this, I'm available right now.
Right. Thank you, doctor. To me, you have covered almost all the aspects of the plasma donation system. There is one question from my side, and then we can open up to the other participants. The first
Right.
question is that you mentioned about the Blood Transfusion Council, and about you said that they also keep records of the available plasma storage and the requirement. So where can we see these records, and are these records publicly available, and how can we access
Yes, you
them?
can go to Maha SBTC site, SBTC or Maha SBTC website, and there you can find because this is public. So you can find every blood bank has to update their blood stock in this website, which is visible to everyone.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So Maha SBTC is the website. Uh, Here we can get the knowledge of what kind, how much plasma is present in a blood bank.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Aniket.
Yes, thanks a lot, doctor, for the information provided by you. The question which I have is basically what we can see is, as you mentioned, like this is an experimental treatment. But whenever we get the requirements
Mhm.
about the plasma, we get it majorly from the private hospitals, and we have not seen requests coming up from Sassoon or any other government hospitals as such. So, is this something that these
Okay.
experiments are carried out in the private hospitals and not the government hospitals? If you can share some light on that.
No, actually, what is your perception is for Pune city. Okay, maybe right now the Sassoon hospital. I don't have any knowledge what kind of therapy is carried out at Sassoon hospital, but what I can that in KM hospital Mumbai, which is a government hospital. So here, a lot of plasma donation camps are going on, and many patients are taking this therapy. In the similar way, Nair Hospital, which is a government hospital, here also the plasma trial started and they are also using the plasma. The AIMS hospital, so so this off-label use is allowed for all the hospitals. So depending upon the availability and facility, the hospitals are taking this treatment. So it is not like that only government hospitals are not doing and only private hospitals are doing. So in a broader prospect in India, many government hospital and private hospital, they are equally eligible to take to carry out this treatment. So I think it
Okay,
is
okay.
not there. Many government hospitals are also doing this treatment.
Okay, okay. And other subsequent question I have is uh, like what we have seen is usually these plasma requirements are passed on to the patient's relative or friends, and then they are going out and searching out for plasma donors. Is there any
Mhm.
way or something through which all this can be like mechanized? What I meant to
Mhm.
say is, government has
Mhm.
the records of all the COVID patients probably who have got recovered. Can those be targeted, or
Mhm.
as you are working at Jahangir, how you are approaching to collect the plasma?
See, all these things actually depend on motivation of the donor. So if not COVID donor, if I would like to ask the present present people over here on this dais, now how many times you all have donated normal blood, not only the hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir,
doctor.
you are
Yes, doctor.
audible.
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
you're
huh,
audible.
huh.
Yes.
So just see if we are having around 28 participants right now. If I would like to say that how many people have done normal blood donation, not the apheresis donation. So here only you can see that because of the fear, because of the unawareness, or because of some factor which are unrelated to the motivation of the donor. So all these factors they prevent us from donating normal blood. So convalescent plasma donation is the next step, because the patient just have survived from such a disastrous disease, and after 28 days if he or she goes for plasma donation, though there must have been some kind of inhibitions from their family or from the patient itself. So we need to break this inhibition. We need to educate the donors. What policy we are following is that this whatever the lecture that or the interaction which I am having, so since my Nashik days, I used to have this kind of interaction with the donors and try to provide information. So if anyone from here who has been required from convalescent plasma, so our main challenge is availability of voluntary donors. Because voluntary donors not available, as everyone knows that this plasma cannot be produced in any factory. It can only be collected from the donor. If voluntary blood donor is not available, then we choose a very next option, which generally the doctors don't like, is that passing on the requirement to the patients and ask them to collect the blood donors, because they are free, because doctors, they are busy in doing treatment. Some doctors are, what they can do is they can, like me, they can educate the people, but this donation has to be voluntary. If voluntary donors are not there, then unfortunately we have to pass this information to relatives. So right now what government or what hospitals are doing is, we are educating the patients when they are admitted. If the patients are they are going to be fit in the criteria of plasma donation, we tell them at that time, when you recover and when you get well after 28 days, you go somewhere and donate your plasma, because whatever the plasma is in stock, it is going to be helpful. If the plasma is required just now and then we are going to find the donors, then it creates a panic situation for patient's family also. So this kind of education we are going to we are giving to the patients only. Then as far as government is concerned, I think government is also doing a lot for motivation of plasma donation, and also for preparing drugs or inventing drugs also. So this is also one of the drug, and government is also supporting that. In I think June 29, our Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray Saheb has already inaugurated one plasma therapy center at Nagpur also, and they timely they have appealed the people to donate plasma. But this is again the experimental therapy. All other drugs are experimental therapy. If I want to say that yes, plasma therapy is going to give cure to the patient, I am not going to say like that. That I will say that plasma therapy is going to act as 60 to 70% for your patient. For an example, when I myself was admitted, I received two plasma. I was admitted for around 1 month in intensive care. My recovery started when I received plasma. So if I want to present as some volunteer who has received plasma, so myself is a very good example, because my recovery started after receiving plasma, 2 doses of plasma. In many patients, recovery was not started. So this kind of scenario is right now there. And I think whenever possible, you all can educate the patients, healthy patients who are recovered from COVID, to come and donate plasma voluntarily.
Okay, okay. Thanks,
Doctor,
doctor.
one question that I had is that when you were answering the doubt related to when should a COVID infected patient be administered plasma, during that, while you gave that answer, you said that during the moderate stage, the patient should receive plasma. My question here is that most of the requirements that we receive are do contain the words like ICU requirement, urgent requirement, XYZ. So is it really that a plasma can help a patient to get out of ICU?
To understand, to understand what is the moderate stage, I think one should have the complete knowledge of what is the staging, and this is the actually the area of clinicians, right? The clinicians, they categorize the patients according to their signs and symptoms and given guidelines, and then they prescribe the therapy. So being in ICU doesn't mean that patient is in only last stages. I was also in ICU, but I was in mild to moderate stage. So it depends on many parameters when to take the patient in ICU. Suppose if patient is having a lot of breathing and acidosis developing because of it, but his COVID-19 may be in a mild stage. So to manage that condition, the doctors take this patient in ICU. So it's not, you cannot correlate that if the patient is in ICU means the disease has gone to a very late stage, and that is why now plasma is asked for. It is not, these two things are different. Being in ICU is different, and staging of diseases are different thing.
Right. Thank you, doctor. And one more thing, there is a portal by the name Divisional Commissioner Pune COVID, where a person who is willing to donate plasma or who is requiring plasma both can register. Can you tell us more about this portal if you have any idea?
See, I'm very new in Nashik city, but whatever I heard about this portal is that some of the FDA people, they come to know about the plasma donors who are available, and they try to help the people out to go and donate plasma. So as there is SBTC portal, so this is also one of the portal or the initiative by the government. But frankly speaking, I have not used it yet. But as soon as I think I get some concrete idea, I will pass on to our Parivartan group.
Right. Thank you, doctor.
Hello, doctor. I have one question.
Yes.
He is having a
Prashant.
plasma donor, and he has taken a vaccination. So, is he eligible for a donating the plasma?
The antibodies which are formed after COVID-19 infection, they are known to have some neutralizing antibodies or the eligible antibodies. But however, as the vaccine has started just now, that is around 2 or 3 months before, So many scientific studies are going on to related to this aspect. So right now, this is a big gray area whether the vaccinated person can be considered as plasma donor. We have not received any kind of concrete communication from all these researchers or the government organizations yet, because the vaccination is also new. Like most of the around, I think last 2 or 3 months only we are getting vaccinations. So these studies are whenever the concrete data comes, it can be shared by government on a public portal only. But
Okay,
right now, who has been recovered from COVID-19 infection, that person is considered as plasma donor. And if he has taken vaccine, then after last dose or 28 days after the last donation of vaccine, that person can donate plasma. But he must have COVID-19 infection in the past.
okay, doctor. Thanks for the information.
Doctor, what are the government's efforts to increase this plasma donation on the area of awareness or area of subsidy?
Subsidy I don't know, but giving the permission to collect plasma to any blood bank is one of the major permission, or the one of the most important effort taken by the government. And government is also creating awareness in one way or other. Many political leaders are also asking us to donate plasma. So from government sector, on behalf of government sector, whatever I can say is what I listen from them only, like you all people. So all these things are done for, but for us, they have given the permission and there are no inhibitions to not to collect plasma.
I have a question.
Yes, Archana.
Are there any cost at any stage involved in either seeking or donating plasma? Any monetary expenses for the donor or the seeker?
I think the upper cost limit of the convalescent plasma has been decided by government. That is rupees 5,500, and if any blood bank is doing some additional test such as antibody screening and other tests, then for that also the capping is given. So that is whatever is the monetary terms, or you can say the financial aspect of the plasma. So overall India, this is applicable.
So this has to be paid by the donor?
No, not by
or
the donor.
The seeker pays
by
this, I'm
patient.
sorry. So the patient pays for this?
Patient. If the patient needs in blood bank or any other blood bank, they need to pay this cost, because this cost is involved in the kit. Whatever the kit I show you in the video, that cost of kit is there. Then we need to test this for HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, malaria, syphilis, antibody screening. So a number of testings are done on this. Plus we need to maintain this machine. So a very minimal cost which is decided by the government is applicable for this, and this needs to be paid by patient. And all the donation needs to be voluntary. So they must not one must not pay the donor for donating plasma. That is very important aspect, that the donation has to be voluntary. One shall not pay the donor, otherwise it will be called as paid donation, which is actually banned in India.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Saab, I have one doubt.
Oh, bola. Yes.
I have detected COVID positive in just rapid antigen test.
Okay.
So is I am eligible or applicable for plasma donating?
You need to check the presence of antibodies in your blood sample. Okay. If the antibodies are at eligible level, then you can donate the plasma. Actually, initially, when ICMR was giving us guidelines, that they ask us that patient or the donor who was before, he must have RT-PCR positive report. But it is not possible that many patients took treatment on antigen testing also. Antigen testing came later on, actually. So you can donate if you have antibodies in the plasma.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Because it is indirect evidence that you are exposed to the disease.
Exactly. Okay, thank you.
Doctor, I had infection in month of May 2020. Recently, 2 weeks back, I did my antibody test. the SARS-CoV-2. I don't remember the exact name, but it says that it is reactive. That indication is that count is above 1.
Okay.
So would I be eligible for donating
It
plasma?
means you have actually this what is the amount of antibody depends upon what kind of machine you are using. So there are numerous machines which are being used to detect antibodies. So for every antibody the criteria is different. Suppose at our hospital we have Abbott machine, so its criteria is around 4 to 4.5. If the machine used by your pathology laboratory wherever you have done the test, if that is a different machine and for then if it is a criteria, then it can be selected. So report needs to be submitted to the blood and will decide whether to come from your.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Right. Any other questions?
If we are done done with the questions, I think we can conclude the session because it's almost an hour that we are online now. So, first of all, thank you very much, Dr. Patil, for giving us your time today. And the entire session was very informative. As a layman and now as a volunteer to run this campaign, we have really got good information so that we can gain some confidence among the donors. And we hope that we can bring some awareness among them. And if possible, we can increase the count through our campaign.
Right.
So, on behalf of Parivartan, I really thank you, in fact. And if you don't mind, if we come across any questions, we may come back to you with any doubts.
Yeah, please come back. This is pandemic period, so there must not be any kind of inhibitions from my side. So whenever you have any doubt, you have any difficulty, please approach. We are available. I think my contact number is with Archana ma'am. And
Yes.
yeah, so please.
As we run the campaign, we will know what kind of questions people are carrying with them. So until we talk to them, we won't understand what fear they have.
Okay, okay.
So
You
the more
can,
we speak with, yeah.
Yes, yes. More you speak with people, more you come to know what kind of, the thoughts are there or what are the questions are there in people's mind. No issues with it. You can compile them, or else if you have any major doubt, we can arrange such kind of meeting once again. And I'm also available on WhatsApp. So you can forward those queries to me. I am ready to answer everything.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Yashas. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
Yeah. I thank all the participants on behalf of Parivartan for sparing their time also.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Thanks all.
Have safe time.
Thanks a lot, sir. Be safe.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.